to get here, hasn't it? But there seem to be a lot of very happy people today about this announcement.
Yes, indeed. They really celebrated this, but it remains to be seen how actually will this be implemented. And, just to make it clear that this is yet to be adopted and the legalities, that's where they'll have to work. And actually, the sharing of genetic resources, which was a massive, massive controversial issue, how will that be implemented? Yet to be seen. And again, things like deep sea mining, will that be really, really assessed before actions happen? It's already a controversial issue. Things like that. Yet to be seen.
So just to explain then, that these areas have been created that are going to be protected areas, and as you say, it's sort of the implementation which is key now. Who is going to ensure that people stick to the rules in these vast areas?
Right. So, let me take you back to last December when they signed this biodiversity agreement that committed to 30% of ocean, 30% of land conservation. Now, the thing was that was an agreement, but there was no legal ground. How do you implement that? This treaty, the High Seas Treaty as it is known, will help to secure that legal framework to secure what is known as the Marine Protected Areas, MPAs. And that is how they will go about it. They will have to determine where are those locations, which places, 30% of the oceans, 2/3 of it. And then, that's where they have to kind of really work on, because there were disputes that should we do on the basis of consensus or voting. That also took time, and that is now thrashed out. But again, the details will have to really be worked on.
And you briefly mentioned the genetic material side of things just then. What are the options? I know you say there hasn't been full agreement on what could happen. I mean, these are basically the materials that could then go on to be used to make, vital drugs in the future. We may not even know what's out there in terms of how useful it is. But what are the options in terms of sharing that?
Well, the thing is, this is about the vast genetic materials that is there. Again, we even don't know what they are. Right now, we are talking about pharmaceuticals, as we saw in that report, treatments for several diseases, and also other things. For example, deep sea mining, when we talk about all those rare materials to make our electric vehicles, batteries, things like that. Those are the things. Again, like, how do you actually share? That is something broadly agreed now. But again, there is a high alliance of countries that are working on this. Poor countries also have joined in. But again, the details are yet to come out. How actually we'll do that? There is a broad agreement. Let's hope that this works.
So this is a first step. How many years are we talking for more concrete developments? I mean, lots of people have to now go home, and it has to be agreed domestically. There are so many further steps required, aren't there? How long are we talking?
Well, see, it took around 20 years to get here. And now we don't know, actually. The sooner the better. But as you know, with all these treaties we have seen in the past, what's happening, let's say, with the climate treaty, let's say what happened with the biodiversity treaty, it takes time. But the thing is, what we need to understand here is, I must quickly mention here that this is not just about those minerals or those genetic materials. Oceans, as you know, half of oxygen that we breathe in is from ocean. Similarly, the regulation of climate change, how those climates are regulated. It's all about that as well. So that's why scientists are saying this has to be done as soon as possible. There is an urgency. Without that, none of those other agreements, whether it's climate agreement or biodiversity agreement, none of them can be implemented. So that's why there is an urgency, and countries are indeed under pressure.
Yeah, well, it's a good first step anyway. Thank you very much. Good to talk to you. That's World Service correspondent Navin Singh Khadka. Thank you.